Welcome back in here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Shout out to the crew of Go Chevrolet. Couple of locations, including one right here in Baton Rouge at Go Express Auto Sales. LaPlace, Louisiana for your brand new car models. And, of course, the newest brand out, the newest opening out in Tennessee. Online at Go Chevrolet, GEAUX We talked to Coach Billy Napier of the Ragin Cajuns last week. It was actually a game day for him. They were in Jonesboro getting set to take on Arkansas State. Cajuns win that night, 28-27, and improved to 6-1 on the season and 4-0 in conference play. It is always great to catch up with Coach Billy Napier of the Ragin Cajuns. Coach, welcome back. Good morning. How are you?
Jordy, thanks for having me, man.
Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Sounds like a secure line. It was great to talk to you last week, and I know that we dove into some things, but we couldn't really get going on a conversation with the technical difficulties that we've had. Your team right now, 6-1. A nice win last week, 28-27, and you got Texas Southern coming up this weekend. How do you like where you are? You sit kind of at the midway point.
You know, I think we're a team. I would say that I think we're a combination of our offense, defense, and special teams. We've won games a lot of different ways this year. You know, it's been important for us to pick each other up. You know, I've been very impressed with the poise that we played with. In particular, last week, I thought we played through the ups and downs. We found we've had complete control of games at times, and then we've also had to make some adjustments and, get some things fixed within games. But I've been very impressed. I think, 6 new coaches on our staff this year. So we're a work in progress. I think we continue to improve as the season goes. But, in our league, you got to be ready to play every week. So much like the league down the road there. So I'm excited about what's in front of us. We got a chance to make it 7 in a row this week at homecoming against Texas State. And certainly we've had a good week of preparation so far.
Coach, Levi Lewis continues to play really good football for you. He's making his way up through the record books. In fact, he jumped over another Baton Rouge native in Terrence Broadway for second in career passing overall in the Cajuns program after his performance last week. As we said, he's from Baton Rouge, right out of Scotlandville. Can you talk about the development of your quarterback as he has really turned into an arm that gets a lot of respect nationally right now?
No doubt. I think, Levi, first of all, you're not going to meet a better person, just as a human being. I think raised the right way, comes from a great family. He's got tremendous character. He's a natural leader. He's a guy that's really made me a better person, a better coach. He's really made himself into a very effective quarterback. He's played ever since we've gotten here. He wasn't the starter the first year, but just because of his ability to affect his teammates, we played him about every fourth possession of the game that first year. So, this guy does a lot in our system. Our system is very quarterback-driven. He makes a lot of decisions on every play in the run game and protections, and certainly in the RPO, run screen game, and some of the straight progression reads. But, he is the alpha. He is the leader on our team, and certainly a guy that was voted team captain last year by his teammates. And, he just keeps getting a little bit better every week. I've been impressed with him, and certainly excited to have him leading our team the rest of the way this year.
Coach, recruiting such a big thing in college football, and I looked it up the other day. I think there's six active professional NFL guys that you've coached since you've been at UL. How important is the recruiting trail, and especially down here in Louisiana and South Louisiana? How important how important is that for you?
Well, first of all, I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. I think the evaluation, roster management part of college football is an area where you can gain an advantage. My dad was a high school football coach. He had to coach whatever the community had every year. So, growing up watching him, and then kind of, getting involved in college football as a player, and then right after college as a graduate assistant, as a young coach, I like the idea of putting my own team together, So, I just absolutely love that part of the strategy. I think you can out-hustle people, you can outwork people. The attention to detail, the improvement of your strategy and your process, your systems in-house to evaluate players. And then once you know who you want, you get to go work and recruit them. And certainly, that's a fun part as well. But, ever since I got involved in this college football deal, had a lot of passion for that, and really enjoy that just as much as game day, So I watch every player. We've got a great system here at UL. I think that's one of the ways that we've been able to improve as we've managed our roster, and certainly we've evaluated well. This part of the country, there's just so many players. Right here in our own state, there's 85 Division I players a year on average. So I think it's important that you pick the right ones. I also think that right around us, within 300 miles of here, there's a lot of players, whether it's Houston and East Texas, whether it's Mississippi, the Panhandle, Mobile. There's so many players available. And then you get outside of that circle to the kind of our 6.5-hour loop that includes Dallas and Birmingham and Central Texas, other parts of Alabama and Mississippi, Memphis, those types of places. So, we break our areas up into 8 core areas. We've got a very specific plan. It's been a lot of fun, man. And certainly in this part of the country, you can find plenty of players to put together a heck of a football team.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, talent's the number one thing you look at, but there's a lot of guys that are talented that don't really pan out. What's one of the big things that you look at players when you're recruiting them on the recruiting trail?
Well, I think I like to spend time with them. I think that's important to me. I like to, it's important to me to kind of judge who they are as people, get to know them as on the phone, in person, be around them and their family. I think there is a human element to this game. You're not necessarily trying to collect talent as much as you're trying to build a team. So, there's always, kind of a dynamic there about, you can have the most talented group in the world, but if they can't get along with each other and work together and are not team guys, right, that really love the game and have goals of winning championships and really accomplishing something significant as a team. So I think there's a fine line in there between sorting through just the physical ability, but also the character and the makeup of the kids. So I go with my gut on that, and been around a lot of good players in my day, and certainly a lot that, made up a good team. I think that's what we have here. We may not have the most talented group, but I think we got a lot of guys that are about the right things. And I think that's a big part of, there's a lot of good teams out there, but can you have a great team, right? Can you get to that elite level?
Billy Napier joining us here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Coach Napier and the Cajuns play Texas State this weekend at home, as that game will kick off at 11 a.m. Coach, one thing that has been impressive in watching UL in under your direction is the consistency in which they perform every season and the overall program. Can you tell us about what it takes to run a program 365 days a year? I think everybody sees it for 12 Saturdays, but it's a lot more that goes into it than that.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, I think, I've been fortunate to work for some exceptional people. I think, first of all, I've always known I wanted to coach. I grew up in the hip pocket of my dad, who was a high school coach that, ran the weight room, was an offensive guy, called the plays, was the head coach. Had just worked 24/7, 365 on his team. And then to have an opportunity to work for some of the all-time greats, Dabo Sweeney, Tommy Bowden, Nick Saban, Jim McElwain, Todd Graham, Buddy Pugh, one of my gave me my first job at South Carolina State. So, and then people overlook the chance to work with some of the best assistants in the country, right? Some of the best strength coaches, some of the best nutritionists, some of the best, operations personnel, on-campus recruiting. There's just so much that goes into it. But what we've done here is we've taken a combination of all these things. I would say 70% of what we do is that Alabama blueprint. We put our spin on it. Certainly a little bit different temperament and personality, but overall the plan starts there. We break our year up into 8 phases when it comes to the development of our football team. And then we have 6 stages to our recruiting plan. And within that, we try to really stay focused on the plan, goals, objectives, specific checklists that we've got to get done in that time of the year. And I think that's the key, right? It's what you do every day, right? I mean, I think that what you do every day is going to add up. What you do, 14 times a year, from a competitor on the field. We all want to be good on game day, but I think all of it adds up, right? And I think that's the important part. So we've been fortunate here that they've given us resources. The leadership here has been outstanding. So we've put our place together very similarly to, what we had at Alabama. Now, we don't pay them all that money, and they certainly don't have all that experience. We got a lot of young people running around here, but we're able to operate the same way with the same efficiency and be really system-oriented. And we're doing it for our 4th year now, and I feel like we've gotten a little bit better at it every year.
Coach Billy Napier joining us here on the Jordy Culotta Show. I'm sorry if this is an unfair question, but there has been so much talk of you being courted for SEC jobs over the last couple of years and even being offered those jobs. You are very comfortable at UL, and that is a winning program that you say gives you all the resources and support. Is there anything out there that could pull you away? Is there anything that you look for in a bigger program that may make you think about it?
I think, Jordy, I don't know if it's time to be talking about those things right here in the middle of the season, but
yes, sir, and I'm sorry for that.
I think I've been asked that question a million times, and I think, I'm a competitor just like everybody else in this profession, and I think the big thing for me is, within the season, I got hundreds of people looking at me in the eye every day. It's my job to lead our team here and our organization here. And, anything that can distract you from that, if you let it distract you, I think you're doing a disservice to those people, right? So, I'm right in the middle of a season. We certainly got a lot left to accomplish. But, I respect your question, and I will say that, I think you evaluate these things every year when the time comes. We certainly, because of the people that we have here and the job that they've done, we've had an opportunity to do that the last couple of years. So it's humbling to be a part of these conversations. It's humbling to get these calls. I think it's a reflection of a lot of people. Everybody wants to put my name on it, but, reality in this profession is you need a great staff, right? You need a great support staff, right? You got to have people that take tremendous pride in their role every day, and you got to build a team, a certain morale and a certain chemistry in your building. And that's what makes it special. That's what makes it a lot of fun, and these players, here have been great. I think it's unique when you go to work every day and you're excited to be around the people that you work with. You're excited to work for the leadership at the university. And that's what we've got here, right? So much like I've said in the past, I think at some point or another, there may be another challenge that I'm ready to take home, but I think it's going to have the same ingredients that make this place a lot of fun to go to work at. So, but that'll come down the road. Those decisions are always tough. But I think they're a reflection of our entire team and organization, our players and our staff.
Whew.
Man.
Billy Napier, UL Ragin Cajun head coach, joining us here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Great conversation, Coach. You clinch bowl eligibility for the 4th straight season last week with the victory over Arkansas State. You mentioned coming home this weekend in front of the Texas State homecoming crowd. What's the challenges that Texas State presents and what it'll be like to get home and play in front of the faithful?
Well, Jake Spavital's team is better. I know their record doesn't necessarily say that, or the stats don't say that, but they've improved in all 3 areas of their team. I think they're better at the line of scrimmage. On offense, they've got a really good group of skill players, the receivers, the running backs, the quarterback is a heck of an athlete. He can escape, he can extend plays, and matchup issues. They've always had good skill there. And defensively, I think the front 7 is better. And they've always given us fits in the kicking game. Their running back coach is a special teams coordinator. He does a great job. So I think the combination of their offense, defense, and special teams can give you problems. I think we've got to be ready to play. They played Baylor to a 1-score game. They beat South Alabama, and they played Troy to a 3-point game. They went down and beat Florida International on the road. So they had a little bit of a spurt where they had 24 players out for COVID a couple weeks ago, and that's affected their team. So we've got to be ready to go like every week. I do think it's a big deal to play at home for homecoming. I think there are a lot of people, want to say that that's a distraction. I think it's a positive. If you're a competitor and you take pride in what you do, this may be one of the best days of the year. You got a lot of people coming back home to a place that they care about, a university that helped them. And certainly they make memories here and they want to come back and have a heck of a weekend. So we take pride in representing this university, all the people that came before us in this community. And, our job is to get the team ready to play. And I know our players are looking forward to it. So it's an 11 a.m. kick. University's done a good job of kind of creating some opportunities for the fans to make it a good day. We're going to show up and play our best football of the year. That's the goal.
Love that. Coach, being from Lafayette, I know this may be another unfair question to ask, but what's your go-to spot to eat in Lafayette? I know it's a tough one, but I got to know it.
Yeah, man. Heck, I've got we joke around here. We've got a ranking. We've got kind of inside
5-star, 4-star, 3-star status.
We break it up into 8 phases.
Yeah, right.
So we had an assistant coach here the first couple of years. He actually had a spreadsheet.
I love that. I love that.
So we got some insider trading here, but there's no doubt. Probably for me to comment on the radio here would be a mistake. I've been in a lot of great restaurants, and first of all, a lot of great people, right? I mean, I think that's what makes it fun, right? You go in the place to eat, just the hospitality, the interaction with the people here is special. But we definitely get out and about in Lafayette. It's been it's a big part of what we do here, right? It's a unique part of the culture, not only in Lafayette, but the state of Louisiana.
I think that was the hardest question we asked.
I think so too. Hey, people are passionate about our food down there in Lafayette, so I knew it was going to be a tough one.
Coach Nate, thank you as always for your time, man. Best of luck getting back home this weekend, and congratulations on a successful season up to this point. Talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Thanks for covering the Cajuns, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
Aye.
Love that phone quality this morning, too. There's Coach Billy Napier checking in from the University of Louisiana-Lafayette.
Are we sure?
Man, that's
hey, Scotty, make the call, why don't you?
A little bit different than showing up to interview with a binder, huh?
Whew. Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, it's a menu.
That's a plan right there, man.
Wow.
That was very impressive. That conversation brought to you by Johnson and Spillers Dentistry. Remember, for general dentistry or pediatric dentistry, get in touch with Dr. Johnson and Dr. Spillers. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge, and everything's online at johnsonspillers.com. That is JEANSOME, johnsonandspillers.com is where you can find them, johnsonandspillers.com. is where you find them online. They're on Facebook, social media as well. But like we said, any type of dentistry that you need help with, I got to get over there on tomorrow, Thursday. I'll be back at Dr. Johnson and Dr. Spiller's office out in Gonzales. Great to work with, very easy. I know sometimes it's no fun going to the dentist, but they are very friendly. They help you out along the way and kind of walk you through the process. JohnSonSpillers.com, JohnSonSpillers.com. Next we talk SEC. We'll ask Josh Pate what he thinks of the possibility of Billy Napier's name in that LSU job mix. We'll talk to him next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered every single day by Go Chevrolet.